Good morning, everybody. I'm Belinda Sandor. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. Let's get started. Welcome, everybody. I'm thrilled you're here. I'm Belinda Sandor. I am the founder of the VA Connection, where I coach and mentor aspiring and established virtual assistants to create, grow, and scale their businesses as virtual assistants. And I work with my students in my free online community, my courses, and my coaching programs. And today I'm your host for Lessons from the Cockpit. This is my weekly live stream show that airs every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. And during this time, I share tactical and practical information about your VA business. And these tips are absolutely for you if you're just starting or you've been around as a VA for a while. Now, I would love to hear where you're coming in from, so please put that in the comments. We are streaming all over the place. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. If you're watching from YouTube, please click the subscribe button and be sure to check out our channel. Click the bell as well, so you will be right? So you'll be notified when we go live. We have free trainings every single week, twice a week at least, at the VA Connection. So definitely check us out. Good. So it looks like Jessica's here. Hello, Jessica. Hello, hello, hello. And from Stuart, Florida, that's probably Tammy. Hello. And Talara is here from Alberta. Excellent. Good, good, good. So come on in. Come on in. And today we're going to talk about this concept of overthinking or overprocessing. You know, I hear my students talk about this a lot, this like, I'm probably overthinking this. And we're going to talk about why that's not a bad thing and how to turn it around so it will work in your favor. Okay. So thank you all right. So we've got Karen here. Hello. Karen is here from Phoenix and Amy is here from Texas. And this is probably Tristy from Billings, Montana. So you guys, I know where you live. Yeah. Hello. It's Tammy. Yes. Good. Good, good, good. Okay. So any questions you have throughout this live stream, please put them in the chat. I'm happy to answer all of them. So first I want to tell you some exciting news. If you haven't heard already, I've got my copy, my author's pre-copy right here. This is Shine Your Light. It's a book that I'm a co-author with 12 other women. You can see it's all on the back right there. There's me. And this book is going to be available on Amazon for sale on our launch day, which is October 17th. So circle it on your calendar to go over to Amazon and buy the book on that day. We are striving to achieve Amazon bestseller status. And so we want everyone to wait until the 17th when we have a big giant event and make a dent over there at Amazon. Okay. So the thing about this book that I want to tell you is that it's very inspiring stories from all of the authors. And the thing that's great about it is that in addition to hopefully inspiring women around the planet, to tell their story, to be brave and to step out and into the light. All the proceeds from the book on Amazon go directly to an organization called Kiva. Kiva is a worldwide organization that provides microloans to women entrepreneurs. And we're very excited to be a part of it. And I hope that you'll participate in it too. So not only inspiring women, but providing for women as well. Good, 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 good. So grab your copy on October 17th. It's just 7 days away. Holy cow. Wow. All right. So I want to tell you a little bit about my background. I'll tell my story, right? Like a part of my story that's actually in the book. This is me and my daughter, Emily. This was us in 2010 when I was just starting my VA business. And my life had really taken kind of a unexpected turn. It's funny how that happens, when you're kind of cruising through your life and it's kind of going like this, but you can't tell. And then all of a sudden you just hit bottom. And it was a really scary time because here I am. I'm a few months shy of my 50th birthday. I have this little delicious daughter to take care of. I'm getting divorced. I have to sell my house because I haven't paid the mortgage. I have 7 years of back taxes that not only need to be filed, but paid. Everywhere I look it's a nightmare. It's really a nightmare. I don't have a job and I have to figure it out. And there's not some big, pile of money somewhere that I can tap into. And so I needed to really think quickly and get on my feet. And the thing is that I decided to really return to my roots, which is administrative work. I was a secretary back in the dark ages when I was in my 20s. I had been an administrator, pretty much my whole career in one capacity or another. And, I thought that's what I'm going to do. I started temping, and I realized that I couldn't afford the amount that I was getting paid. I really needed to, cut out the middleman, if you will, the temp agency, right? Because they take a cut of what you get. So I started telling everybody that I knew, I'm available to help. I'm available for administrative work. What can I do? What can I do? And one morning at the school bus stop, one of the dads says, "What's new?" And I tell him my idea, and his whole face changed. And he said, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Let's talk." Because he had just started a business a couple months before. I had no idea. What's funny is if I had known, I probably wouldn't have told him, right? Which is silly, but that's how we are. And that's where overthinking gets involved, right? So I told him. He hired me. I did his errands. I paid his bills. I did really pretty straightforward things that I already knew how to do, and it was great. And so I continued to tell people, everywhere I went. And my second client, I met in the buffet line at a wedding. He was there. We're holding our plates and we're, chit-chatting, and he gave me his business card and I told him what I was up to, and I connected with him on LinkedIn, which felt like a huge deal. And, a few weeks later, he got in touch with me and said, "Can you help me?" I was like, "You bet." And so that taught me a couple of things. It taught me that clients really are everywhere, and that it's literally a complete waste of time to try to prospect. Going around town and handing out flyers to local businesses is not how you get clients. You need to tell everybody that you know what you're up to. Okay. So there's a ton of information about this over on the blog at thevaconnection.com. So definitely check that out. All right. Good. Now I leaned in. I changed my mindset. I started keeping my word to myself. I stepped out of my comfort zone when I started my business, Rocket Girl Solutions, and I built a successful, thriving business. The first year I earned $70,000, and for the next 10 years, I earned $100,000 a year as a virtual assistant. And the systems that I developed and the methods I used to run my own VA business are what I teach at the VA Connection, and I would love to teach you too. All right. I would love to teach you too. So like I said, I've been in business since 2010. I've worked with over 225 clients, and I've earned over $1 million as a VA. Okay, good. So here's today. It's actually, it was our wedding day 2 years ago. You guys, I married the man that was perfect for me when I was 60. When you're a young girl and you think about, your dream life, that's not usually what you have in mind. You think you're going to have that handled beforehand, but it really has changed my life. My finances are handled as a result of being a virtual assistant. I've gotten clearer about what's important to me and what's not. And I was able to be there for my daughter as she grew up. And I feel like I can breathe again. I feel like I could breathe again. And here are all of our kids. This is David and Charlie, and then Greg and me and Emily and Stephen and Andy on our wedding day. So it's possible. It's possible. All right. So let's jump into this whole concept. Okay. This whole concept of overthinking or processing. So the problem with the word overthinking is that we're not saying, "Oh, yay, we're overthinking." We're giving ourselves a hard time, right? We're saying, "Oh, I'm overthinking," and there's a couple things that go along with that. One is the negative feeling that we put on top of ourselves, right? So how many of you do that? You never celebrate overthinking. You think it's a character defect, right? And you treat it like that, and you trash talk yourself. So that's the biggest damaging part of this whole overthinking, right? Even more than the overthinking itself. And the thing is that this over processing, or this what we're going to call it, let's call it processing, happens when we're scared, right? When we're about to, bust some kind of a move, like we're going to, send out an announcement about our new business, or set up our LinkedIn profile, or even simply asking someone for their email address. We get all in our head about all the what ifs. Well, what if this, and what if that, and what if they think this? And I totally know. I have been there. I mean, seriously, when I met that person, his name is Michael, when I met him in the wedding buffet line and he gave me his card, I didn't just run home and connect with him on LinkedIn. I had this whole thing going on in my head about, he's probably going to think I want something from him. He might think I'm trying to get hired. He might think this, he might think that. Like I had a whole thing going on. And what I was doing was delaying my success every second that I was, going, no, in my head. And so what we want to do is we want to understand the feeling of when we're stuck, when we're scared. We want to understand the feeling. There is a feeling in your body. And if you can get an understanding of what that feeling is, then you'll know when you're doing it. Okay. This is how I manage a lot of my emotions, my ego or my temper even. I really, I know what it feels like inside. And then when that feeling comes over me, I don't react. I think, oh, there's the feeling. What am I going to do now? I have a choice, right? I have a choice. And it's very helpful when you can get in touch with the feelings. Now, I'll tell you, as an introvert myself, and as someone just who I am, I live in my head. I completely live in my head. So for me to get in touch with the feelings in my body when something is going on in my head, that was a big deal. That was a big deal. So if it's a big deal for you too, that's okay. Do it anyway, but notice, like for example, when I get angry, like this sort of heat comes up inside of me, and as soon as I feel it, I think, oh, okay. Because, we don't want to run our lives with our feelings in charge. We want to have our feelings, but then we want to decide, what are we going to do with them? So when I get angry, I have a choice. I can, just like slap somebody down really fast, right? We can all do that. Or I can think, I'm angry. What's happening here? Who am I angry at? What is the status of my relationship with them? What do I want it to be? And what's appropriate for me to say in this moment to get the result of the relationship that I want? So you can see how that works, right? So when you're feeling overwhelmed, confused, when I don't want to make a decision, I get confused. That's how I know I'm overwhelmed. Like, I'm confused. I'm not usually confused. Why am I confused? And as soon as I realize, oh, I'm just overwhelmed, then I can say to myself, okay, what do I need to do? And we're going to talk about those steps in just a minute. Okay. So yeah, so someone says, yes, I've been dealing with this. Absolutely. Absolutely. So get familiar with the feeling in your body so you can say to yourself, I might be spending a little bit too much time on this. I might be worried about what other people are thinking. This is what might be happening. Okay. Now, here's the thing that I want you to know, and this is so important. A lot of us are introverts, and as introverts, our superpower that we have is processing information, right? Processing information. I mean, I can go into something, and I know a lot of you can do this too. You can go into chaos and you think, okay, we'll break it down. Okay, let's put all these things in different categories. Okay, good. Now I can solve this and I can solve that. And we're really good at sorting things. And we're really good also at being calm in an emergency. I mean, when an emergency happens, or when, like something happens in the family where we need to take action, I can just really drop into it. Like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is how we're going to break it down. Let's get a list. Let's get it going, and process this. And, it is a superpower to provide, order out of chaos and thoughtful solutions, because a lot of times people just react, right? And that's, as introverts, that's not what we're doing, right? We're really thinking about it. So I want to celebrate this, and I want to replace the word overthinking with processing, and take pride in that ability. All right. Take pride. So, you're beating yourself up with this word over, right? Over. So to accommodate, sometimes you need to insert phrases into your conversation. And I have become very intentional with this. And I notice it more and more as I pay attention to it. So you might want to say something like, if someone asks you a question and you need to think about it, what I want you to say to that person is, let me think about that for a minute. Or you can say something like, let me just process that for a second. I say that all the time. People, they don't think I don't have a clue. What they think is I actually care, right? Because I'm thinking about it. Let me hold on. Let me just think about that for a second, okay? And sometimes it's not about actually thinking, it's about letting the information settle down and the solution pop up, right? If we can just be calm about it and not think that we have to know the answer immediately, even, I'm not kidding, 5 seconds, right? 5 seconds, let me think about that. Okay. And then come back to clear your brain. So like I said, it's not only okay, it's appreciated. It's appreciated. And I have had clients multiple times over the years say to me, I don't need the answer right now, but would you please think about how we can, whatever it is, all the time. And sometimes I have the answer right then. And other times, I do need to think about it. They'll say, I have this idea. I just want to put it in the back of your head because I know you'll be working on it, subconsciously. And that's totally great. Okay. So this whole concept of processing is a superpower. Now, let's talk about the flip side. Okay. Because sometimes processing is code for procrastination or paralysis or being stuck or, fill in the blank. And that's a whole different ballgame. And when you're doing it. When you're doing it, right? So don't kid yourself. Okay. You totally know when you're doing it. So when that happens, it's essential to get into action. And I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. Okay. 3 questions. Number 1, what's the worst case scenario? What is the worst possible thing that is going to happen if you update your LinkedIn profile and it's not perfect? Someone's going to notice your profile, right? That's actually good. And if they point out an error, thank them and say, thank you for having my back. You guys, there is the sign up for the Kickstarter page that I've had for 2.5 years. It had a typo on it. And one of my friends told me 2 days ago. I was like, wow. Instead of I'm, it says I'll. And I never noticed it. No one ever told me. When she told me, I didn't think, oh no, I'm such an idiot. I thought, oh wow, I never caught that. And I fixed it. Moved on, right? Moved on. So the thing is that really, what is the worst case scenario if you tell someone about your business and they're not interested? Nothing, right? Not really. And so just really ask yourself, what is the worst case scenario if I tell my hairdresser about my business? And I think the worst case is she'll be like, oh, great. That's probably the worst case. Okay. So think about worst case scenario. That kind of settles me down. Now, the other thing, so I'm just noticing this comment. So yes, Michael Katz, that's who my second client was, just posted this morning an article that said nobody ever died from bad marketing. Right. They didn't. Their business might have died from no marketing, but no one died from bad marketing. Right. That's funny. I haven't seen that yet. So, okay. So question number 1, what's the worst case scenario? Question number 2, do I need more information? When I am confused and overwhelmed and I have to make a decision, what I always say to myself is, what else do I need to make this decision? Do I need to talk to somebody? Do I need to have like a therapy session with a friend? Do I need a quick Google search? But really, what do I need to know? What do I need to know? And that came up for me over and over when I was turning my life around, because there were so many decisions I didn't want to make. Do you think I was looking forward to 7 years of back taxes? No, I don't think so. And I made it this big giant thing. I need an accountant. I need this. I need that. I can't afford any of it. I just made it this huge thing. And what I ended up doing was saying to myself, okay, you're just going to open one box. You're going to open one box. You're going to spread the receipts out. You're going to start making piles according to year. Don't look at the receipts. Just spread those things out. And that's what I did. And so it's just about the next step. And man, it was excruciating for me to do that. Like I still can have that sense of what that felt like inside of me to do that, because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to have to. I was mad about it. I was scared. I was all these things. But the thing is to get started, did I need more information? I did not. I did not, and then I started to break it down and fill in the holes. So I love this question a lot, and I use it all the time. What else do I need to know to make a decision? And sometimes I just don't want to make the decision. But if I ask the question, what else do I need to know? Usually not that much, right? Usually not that much. And then the third question that I want you to ask is, what's the cost if you don't move forward? Think about the consequences of not taking the next step. What's the result? Are you going to stay in a soul crushing job you hate? Is your debt going to continue to grow? Is the interest going to continue to pile up? And are all those phone calls or texts or emails that you're getting from your creditors, are those going to go away if you continue to ignore this? It's interesting how much I've learned that people are willing to work with us when we take action. When we take action, instead of those collection calls being shameful, it became a negotiation. Like, okay, I can do this and this and this. And then I kept my word to myself. And eventually, things turned around. But the people who I thought were the enemy were actually, they're just trying to do their job and they're trying to help me, and so at any given moment, we are either spending time worrying about our business or spending time working on our business. And I really want you to know that, working on your business, I know it's obvious, but working on your business, it's what's going to make your successful business a reality. And so if you're stuck in something, really, really look at it. And I'm going to repeat the questions again because I think they're really important. Okay. So the first question is, what's the worst case scenario if I take action, right? What's the worst case scenario? Do I need more information? Yes or no? And what's the cost if you don't move forward? And that's the thing that usually gets me, if I'm not able to move out of my zone with the question, what else do I need to know? Then that usually happens. And it's funny. It doesn't even have to be a big decision. So let me give you a scenario that's happening for me right now. So I'm going to be out of the office for a book signing in Dallas on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And I'm trying to decide what I'm going to cancel and what I'm not. Now, it's pretty obvious that when I'm on the plane, I'm not going to be able to meet with somebody. But for some reason, I'm I'm kind of like, oh, I'll decide that later. Decide what? Like, it's already decided. You can't do it. Take the action. Email the person. Ask them to move it. No big deal, right? But we do that. It's I think somehow it's human nature, and so we have to break out of that. So get really clear on what the feeling is inside of you when you are processing and when you're procrastinating and when you're putting something off, and ask yourself these questions so you can get into action. All right, good. All right, so Ella's here. Hello. Good. I'm glad it's great advice. Yeah. It's amazing how we can bog ourselves down. How we can really bog ourselves down. Okay, you guys, so we're doing it again. Are you ready? Kickstart your VA business. We are doing it again. We're going to start up on November 6th. I'm very excited. The Facebook group opened today. We have over 50 people in it already. I'm super, super excited. So tell your friends about it. Sign up for our affiliate program. Spread the word, and let's get your people in there. All right. We're going to start at noon Eastern. We have expanded this training a lot. We have mindset sessions every day at 11 o'clock, which are really valuable. We also have a VIP component, which you'll get emails about. But for $27, you can have these replays of these trainings for 90 days and have a 1-hour Zoom session with me every single day, Monday through Friday, of the Kickstart training. Okay. Yeah. Lori says, do things scared. Yeah. And then, as soon as you do them, like the fear kind of goes away, like, oh, okay. Good, good. Well, I'm glad this was useful. So join me for the next episode of Lessons from the Cockpit right here next week. I'll be watching for you. All right. And until then, I'm Belinda Sandor signing off. Bye for now.